I Priya Sakhe Jannadinamidam I Priya Sakhe Shantanotu Te Sarvadamudam Shantanotu Te Sarvadamudam Pratayamahe Bhavashatayushi Pratayamahe Bhavashatayushi Ishvara Sada Tvam Cha Rakshatu Ishvara Sada Tvam Cha Rakshatu Punya Karmana Kirtimajaya Punya Karmana Kirtimajaya Jivanam Tava Bhavatu Sartakam Jivanam Tava Bhavatu Sartakam Bhavatu Sartakam Bhavatu Sartakam. And then you told yourself, oh, I found something great, and this is like a new life, I'm going to be a yogi, like Sadhguru say, undercover, yay, and then you put on this new coat and say, I'm a yogi, yes, I'm a yogi, And then you realize, sometimes you realize, wait a minute,
oh dear.
Am I not supposed to be like free? Like I'm not supposed to put on any coat. Oh God, I've been putting another coat. Like you thought you have take out something, but actually no, you just put on another thing of something new. So just today is so panas, and because I'm sitting close to the window, so I can feel the hangness of the whole thing. Okay, so welcome back to Get Candid with Pushpaja. This is episode 2, and today we are going to talk about a few topics. Millie is going to have some very interesting question for me, so I'm not sure what she's going to ask me. I am quite curious. So, shall we start?
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So first question. Okay, because we've been working together for some time, and my whole perspective has changed just looking at how you do things, because it's one thing to try and understand all the theory, but it's another to see someone really applying it and how they're approaching it when it comes to like all these different situations. But the thing that I wanted to ask you the most, and I feel like this is very interesting for me to learn from you, is that, so you are running a business. You've been doing this for 7 years. You're running a Isha Hatha Yoga studio in one of the prime area in Malaysia. You've been holding on to it for 7 years, never stopped. And I see so many challenges, so many very unique challenges that I feel like it's unique to somebody who's on a spiritual path, and also for a Isha Hatha Yoga teacher. And I think I'll start with asking you, what were the mistakes that you feel you made? Maybe not mistakes, but maybe misinformation, or just some sort of conclusion that you have made, but it doesn't really help you, which are all coming from a misconception of the theories. You're trying to look at the theory and you said, okay, this is what the theory said, so this is how I should do it. And then when you do it, it's like, oh wait, there's a lot more to this. Things like that. I'm sure there's a lot of that, over the past 7 years, and I can tell from the way you do things, it is not coming from it is not coming from a direct application of like a theory. There's an incredible amount of awareness in you that I always see, but it's also coming from a maturity from all this experience, and you're very flexible. I see you do this almost this dance, which is so amazing for me to see, and I'm like, it takes a lot of awareness and maturity to be able to do that. So this is what, this is what I feel like I really want to know for myself, how you got to this place, and maybe start with the mistakes first, that sort of, yeah.
Right. Wow, it's like you're bringing back those memory that I started, and now I'm just walking down the memory lane. So 2013 was my training, my teacher training.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought I'm going to be a teacher, honestly. That's the first thing. And I was very confused because I left my corporate work just to get that money to go for teacher training. And I barely made it. Like I barely make that 10,000 USD, you see. So, and this was like in 2013. So that time, our money, ringgit was just times 3, 3.1. It was very good. Now it's like 4 point what? 4.2?
Yeah.
3,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
4.2. So those were the days. And even with that, it's not a small amount of money. Neither is too big, but it does take, some effort to accumulate. And a very interesting way I accumulated in just within 9 months. It was incredible. It was incredible. I thought I would aim for the next year, which is in 2014. But something just happened for me. The finance just come. I got just lots of bonus for the work that I do. I'm so glad. Just a lot of reward, and everything just pointing to me and said, Pushpaja, this is the year you're going. You're going for the second batch. You're not going to wait for the third batch to happen. You're going for the second batch. Like, okay, let's do it. So then I went to, the whole training. After that, I was a little lost because I told myself, teaching, I'm not sure I'm good enough, because I've went there with the intention of being trained. Actually, my whole life, Millie, my whole life, I was coached from a very young age. The first person who coaches me was my father, right? He's the one who coached me on singing because he's into plantation, so he's in agriculture. So he would tell me all the scientific names of the tree and, some plants, and then I'll be able to just repeat what he says. And then he's a great singer, my father, like great, very, very good singer. And he sings to me. So he trained me just, singing, not like professionally, but just training me singing. And after that, he put me into a further training in vocals. So I started to train vocally like the age of 4 in classical Chinese music, just classical Chinese music. So I was trained. And then afterwards, I was trained in speech, is it speech? Irama? What do you call that? Is it speech?
Like public speaking?
Public speaking? Yeah, that's the word. That's the one. Yeah, public speaking in Mandarin, in Bahasa, in Malay, in English. So again, training until high school, still train, still go out there and do public speaking. And then I was an athlete. Although I didn't train professionally then, I was trained, to run and to do high jump. You won't believe me, I'm so short, but I can do high jump. My legs are like so, you'll be so surprised. And that also with scoliosis, which we talk about that later.
Mhm.
Then after high school, when I went to college, that's where I started to pick up dancing. Again, no professional training, but later on, I started to do rock climbing. So I was trained in rock climbing. I was trained, and at one point of time, I was even thinking of going professional for rock climbing. Be a athlete, slowly picking up that pace and be an athlete. I just love climbing so much. And then after that, at that point of time, I went for a lot of business talk. So I was doing like multi-level companies. So doing a lot of when you do that business, you're coached. You're
Right.
coached by your upline. So then you attend a lot of talk, motivational talk, life-changing courses. So I was trained in that, like mentally trained, so resilient, breaking old habits. So I saw that as character training, you see. And like this, it goes to my 20s and mid 20s, and then that's it. I start to know Sadhguru, and I looked at him again as like a great, wise, like the wisest person I've ever met so far. Like I've met so many mentors, so many teachers, right? And I looked at when I landed on that page on YouTube, and it was Sadhguru's face. Um, Hi. His wisdom is just so amazingly sharp and simple. That's the thing, simple, so simple. Like how you can explain such a complex thing in a simple manner. I'm like, wow, this guy is so damn smart. I want to be with him. Yeah, I'm like, I want to be with him. Doesn't matter what it is. I want to be with him. You tell me it's spirituality, fine. Spirituality it is, You tell me it's business, fine. It's business it is. I just want to be with you, like I just want to be with Sadhguru. And so I never thought. I just went with the intention that I want to be trained by him, by him, by him. I want to be with him, be with him, be with him. And so many times that he had made me cry just through videos, because he had touched something that is so true and real inside me, which all this motivational talk that I had, okay, with all my mentor in the past, did not go there. Like it was still on the surface. It was still touching the surface, but this is very deep. So I instantly said, okay, I'm going. What is it? Teacher training? Oh, fine. Okay. And at that time, they were not so strict, because it's just the second batch. Always when you start something, the first one is almost like a
Everyone is figuring it out. Yeah, everyone is still figuring out.
Exactly. So second one is like, so I'm the second batch, and till today, my batchmates, okay, those who is in the 2013 batchmates, they can vouch for it. Okay, it is. I'm going to boast it now, right? Sorry, forgive. Second batch is really the best. It's really the best. We get a very good combination of both. When I say both, means the very orthodox training for yogi, like really hardcore, okay, and a blend of that soft kind of soft net, that soft cushion for us. So I can say we are really the blessed, one of the blessed batch ever. So we have this both marriage. It's just very good marination, good combination. Very beautiful. So after the batch, after the graduation, before they took us in, they did not say, oh, you must teach 100%, otherwise we will not take you, which is actually what happens right now. There's requirement for you to want to teach. And it makes sense, because during our time, I think there were 70 plus of us who graduated, but only a handful teaches like full time. Only a handful. So it is actually, if you look from the point of view of the school, like the Hatha Yoga school from ashram, it is a waste of resources and time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I pity them, and they still try to figure out, okay, why is it that we couldn't retain teachers? Why we train, but how come we couldn't retain teachers? Why is it? What went wrong? So they're still in the process of figuring out, so second batch, third batch, fourth batch, and I can see how they're slowly improving, the whole teaching system,
right,
and support that they are able to give. So so coming back to what mistakes, I think the first thing that I did not do or did not set in my mind was, I'm not going to be a teacher. So that's, I'm not going to be a teacher. That's like that. So when I come back to Malaysia, I was obliged. I was obliged to teach. Why? Because the second I landed Malaysia, somebody from the previous batch, which also was a Malaysian, his name is Jay. He started to introduce everyone. Says that, there's a girl coming back from ashram, so she's going to be your new teacher. And then he was happily announcing that to everyone, because he wanted to, or he had a plan. He had a plan. He had a plan to go full-time, to be a full-time volunteer in the ashram. So before he left, he gave me all the contact that he had made for his teaching, and he said, okay, there you go. This is yours now. Take good care. And by the way, this is some money for you to start, your business somewhere. So he's really kind.
Wow.
Until today, I'm so grateful for him. Beautiful soul. And that's it. He left. So I was obliged, because after that, people just flocking in and say, hello, I want to learn Isha Kriya. I want to learn this, and I was like, oh no, I'm not ready to teach yet. I'm not ready. So I was resisting, because in my head, and I think everyone, all the other teachers who are new, they can definitely relate, because it's so much pressure to teach.
It is.
And you're just 6 months training. Everything is still new for you. It's a new system. It's a new mindset. It's like you just got out from washing machine. Your clothes is just, it's clean, nice, but it's wet. You can't wear it yet. You can't wear it yet. You have to let it dry outside. It was not dry enough. And our friend Jay, it's already putting me on a spotlight. So I was like, oh God. Oh no. So I thought, and God, it was a disaster.
Wow, I didn't know this. I haven't heard this story yet. So this is very interesting.
Yeah, I have to tell you this. So before Jay left, he organized a Surya Kriya class. My first Surya Kriya class he organized, and he was so confident, and he was saying, Pushpaja, you are going to teach this class, Okay. What class? Surya Kriya. And let me tell you, I'm very panicked. I'm so nervous. And I told him, Jay, is it okay if you just give me some entry point, like Upa Yoga? Like let me start something simple, something easy that I can handle. But I don't think I'm ready for Surya Kriya yet. No, you're fine. Don't worry. I know you're okay. I said, this guy bloody hell is not listening to me. He's thinking whatever he wants. So I was like, really frustrated. But at the same time, I kept it inside me. I'm like, okay, it's all right. It's all right, Pushpaja. Just go with it. Sadhguru says all about willingness. It's all about willingness. Okay, rub my tears. Oh God, the whole night I couldn't sleep properly because I was just thinking about the class and will I even forget my notes? I'm a teacher, there's something that you have to say. Oh God. And true enough, when that day happens, okay, there were 4 students. I still remember who they are, right? I think they are so dear to me. They were so kind that they were just being so understanding that this is my first time, right? They just being there and be very patient to me. But guess what? I lost my words halfway. So you did Surya Kriya, right? You did Surya Kriya. So for example, you do to the point where you have to hold a certain breath, right? A certain number of breath. And after that you have to transition to the next one. So instead of me saying those instruction for you to transition to the next posture, I went blank. And that's it. Jay was inside the room, the same teaching place, because he was, I know, cringe, right? I know what a cringe moment.
I can't imagine.
Oh God, he did this to me. Time's out. He said, time's out.
Oh dear.
So I looked at him from far, from behind, and I was like, shit. So I have to tell, okay, by the way, so I finished that sequence. Okay, by the way, please open your eyes and we are going to take a break. Okay, we're going to take a 5 minutes break. So I have to stand up. Okay, I stood up from where I was, and that journey to Jay, the journey to Jay is like from here to the back room. That's all. Okay, it's not so far. It's from here to the back room, and it was the walk of shame.
Oh dear.
It was the walk of shame. I went to him. I couldn't look into his eyes, and Jay was like that to me. Okay, Pushpaja, I think I have to take over the class. Okay, I have to take over the class. And I broke down and cried and I said, thank you.
No.
Thank you. Yeah, I did that. I broke in. I just broke. I was finished. I was finished. And I think from this incident, me and him, we both learned something. I think he learned that not everybody is the same intensity as themselves, right? So he is very intense in the sense he is very like out there. He's like, I'm ready to teach Hatha Yoga to the world, and I'm like, no, let me start little small, and he thought that it was just me saying, but he didn't know it was my true feelings. So I think he learned not to ignore people's request. I think he learned that. And I learned that I should be firm at my conviction, at my if I knew that I can't, I should just say, I'm so sorry, Jay, I'm so sorry, I just can't. Instead of compromising and say, you know what, okay, I'm gonna try, and then turns out to be a disaster, a total disaster. But yeah, that was just one of my starting journey, right? I don't look at it as a mistake, but more like the way I start. And this is how how I started. Oh God, it was not easy. So soon after he left, right? Soon after he left, and I'm all by myself from 2014. And really with Sadhguru's blessing and his guidance, he guided me to this place of ours now, Irama Studio. He guided me. Really, he guided me there. And the night before, I met the what do you call that, the property agent, right? The property agent. I told myself, I'm going to use the visualization process to visualize what I really want to happen, because prior to that, there is a meditation that Sadhguru did. It's called Kalpa Viksha. I don't know if you heard of that. Kalpa Viksha, the wishing tree. The wishing tree.
So yeah. I heard. Yeah. So I think you were saying something about you yourself becoming the tree. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he said our mind is capable of so many things, right? And prior to this is what all the business people has talked in the business world. Law of attraction, it's all about your mindset and all that. But Sadhguru just went so much deeper than that dabbing on the surface. He talks about real stuff. So he said that our mind is the space where things are created. So if you can make yourself into a wishing tree, a kalpa viksha, everything will happen. Everything that you wish to work in this world, if you give enough energy into it and focus into it, it will come to reality. So just the night before, only the night before, I say, okay, I'm going to meet the agent. All right, let me visualize. I say, let me visualize what I want. A studio with 2 rooms. Why? Because I thought in the future, it's not going to be myself, the only teacher. There's going to be a lot more Isha teacher from Malaysia. Okay. So I envisioned that I'm not going to be the first one, and definitely not the first one, but not the first one who started a studio, by myself. Definitely I'm not the last one. So that's going to be a lot teacher. I foresee that. So I think at least 2 rooms, because those shop lots, they are like one big room.
Yeah, open space. Room. Yeah, one open long space. Yeah.
Exactly. So I thought, in the long run, may not be good, because if you have 2 teachers, then only one class can happen at one time, and you don't know the occupation, the occupancy of the space. It may not be full. It may be just 2 or 3 people. So it's a waste. If you have 2, then you can occupy more people and have 2 class at the same time. So I thought, okay, two rooms, and then the next thing, of course, is how much. So I calculate. X amount. I say, okay. Then something tells me that it's between this and this. And I said, no, you cannot tell the universe like that. You have to be sure. So I said, okay, fine. So Pushpaja, what is it? What amount? Say it. This amount. And then that's it. Okay. That's it. So I had the picture. So the next day when I met the property agent, he took me to this top floor. 4th floor, you have to walk.
Yeah, no lift. Yeah.
No lift. And I thought, wow, this is good. Yeah, this is good. You know why? Because if people cannot walk this staircase and they were huffing and puffing, it shows you're not fit. So that will be my first introduction. So welcome to Irama. How was the walk up to the stairs? That's why you need yoga.
That was my first day there. How is it? I was like, oh no. I need water.
Yeah, exactly. In my head, I already had that scenario. I'm going to make fun of them. That's why you need your Hatha Yoga. You came to the right place. Come on,
That's how I first arrived. Thank God my first time there wasn't to actually attend a class. If not, I would have been like, I need to sit down.
Yeah, it's so funny. So that, and then when as I entered to the room, which is now the Sanidhi room, right? The one that has Sanidhi Yantra, I saw this, the division. And I looked at it and I'm like, oh my God, exactly what I envisioned. A partition of wall that has 2 space. I'm like, wow. Okay. It's like the first box has tick. First one, ting. All right. Then the next one is, of course, the price, the rent. So I asked, so how much? Then he gave me that amount. It was the exact amount I wanted. Exact amount. So second box tick. And at that time, of course, I have to, remain a poker face.
Poker face, yeah.
Okay, okay, Tang, all right, you know. But inside my heart, I was like, oh, so yeah, I started that way. You were
Mm.
asking me mistakes. Oh my God,
No,
so
that's
many.
okay. That's okay. Yeah.
God. Oh my God, so many. But anyway, this is how I start, right, Irama? uh,
So that
well,
was
and
that was in 20. So you did your teacher's training
2014 then. Yeah, 2014, the
2014.
very next year. The
Got
very
it.
next year.
And how old were you at the time?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Right.
So I'm, oh dear. What is it?
I think it's about
Oh,
7 years ago. So you should
in
be
2013? You mean
20,
2013?
2014 when you got the studio. That
Oh,
was 7 years ago. So you must
yeah,
be um
26.
very young, very
Yeah,
very
26.
young. Mm,
Really?
mm, mm,
So 25 was my teacher training. I don't even know what year I went for teacher training. Oh goodness. I
mm,
stopped
mm,
counting, I guess.
mm.
Yeah, so
Be-
26. Yeah, 26.
because I feel like there's a lot of young teachers out there, and I just want them to hear. They're much younger than you, and they're starting their own stuff, and they're struggling, and so yeah. Here you have a really good senior teacher here who started just like that.
Oh God. It
You're not
was this is
you're
mhm.
it's just that you're not supposed to know everything, and that's okay. I think
Oh,
there's a lot
yeah.
of pressure. Sometimes people think, oh, I'm already 26, I supposed to know this stuff already. I supposed to know what to do, I supposed to be good at this already. And I see a lot of very young teachers that I spoke to who take on that stress upon themselves. I should be more,
Really?
yeah, I should be more aware. I should be able to do this. But no, you do. Sometimes it's a very rocky. That's how you get better, right? That's how you get better. You learn. Yeah. So
Yeah, and I guess okay, that's the reason why we went for the training, right? I mean, I don't know
mm,
if this new teachers, this younger junior teachers, they actually have like a deeper understanding as to why or what's the real purpose of the whole training. Of course,
mm,
part of it is to train you as Isha teacher and to help bring about Sadhguru's vision in spreading Hatha Yoga, right? And to make it mainstream. But the real training here is it's really a washing machine journey. That's all I can say. Yeah, it is for me. I always feel like that 6 months was a washing machine, and
mm,
you are confused. You don't have a break, like no break in a sense. There is no break for you to say, okay, now for 1 week you're not going to do any form of hatha yoga. Zero of sadhana, zero, like really
mm,
even your shambhavi meditation, nothing. Okay, and you're going to have time to contemplate.
mm,
Oh,
mm,
oh, 20 okay, just full on hatha yoga, full on sadhana, full on shakti charana. Oh, yo, full on. Even when we have to go to travel, full on. They will stop somewhere. They will stop somewhere. The brahmacharis and the volunteers. Okay, the volunteers who spend time to volunteer for us. Okay,
mm,
they help to you know prepare food and make sure that carpets are laid before we come so that we can do our sadhana halfway somewhere in the middle of God knows where. Some
mm.
they call it wedding hall, Indian wedding halls, and we will do sadhana and that's it. Makan, okay, sapada makan, and then finish. Go back to your bus and next destination. It's just like that. Pop, 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 pop. There's no time for you to sit down and contemplate and do some thinking. No, the time that I have extra time, I'm not using it for contemplating. I'm using it to sleep. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
I don't know about, okay, I don't know about the rest of the teacher. I can only tell from my own experience. In my batch, I see everyone such a good boy and good girl. Okay. Extra time means temple. Extra time means Janalinga. Extra time means Devi. Extra time means the Surya Kun or the Chandra Kun, where you have to drink and take water. Me, extra times mean sleeping. Yes. Yes. And I used to feel so ashamed at that time because it's like everyone is really having an active lifestyle, like in ashram, they are just so active and so alive. I'm just sleeping my heads off until, like 4:30 is the time. Okay, 4:10, okay, I'll get up. I don't have the energy. At least the first 3 months, I don't have the energy. Don't have. Zero. I'm tired all the time. All the time. And I used to look at my classmates. I'm like, wow, they're so good. They go to Devi, they go to Dhyanalinga, they have time to drink coconut, they have time to drink chai and eat bhaji, I don't have time for all of that. I just want to sleep. Room and sleep, Such a lazy ass. Yeah. I just don't have the energy. Don't have. Until 3 months pass. Then the 4th and 5th month. The last 2 months I picked up energy, really. And I met very good friend, of course, my classmates. We become very like that, good friendship. And then they are the one who say, Jom, chalo, let's go to the Chandra Kun. Chalo, let's go and drink coconut. Come, So then I find my kaki, I find my tribe. And then that's it. There's just two girls, and me, myself, the 3 musketeers. Both of them are elder than me. I'm always in the grandmother's group, I'm the old lady like me and you. So these 2 ladies are older than me, okay? And yeah. So only then I picked up my energy. But it was difficult. It was very difficult. Why did I say this, by the way? Why did I say about how come I come to my training suddenly?
No, you were just getting into like the mistakes that you've made along the way. Mistakes are not necessarily mistakes, but I guess it's more about the lessons that you learn and things, the kind of things that you thought it should be like this, but oh wait, it's not. It's not exactly like this.
Not glamorous at all. Okay, my journey, nothing glamorous, nothing at all. It is just so much of confusion. So yeah, I remember I talked about, this whole thing, the whole teacher training. I remember now, talking to the junior teacher, right? So so I get into that. So yeah, it's the whole journey of getting inside this washing machine non-stop. You're just so you have no time to sit down and contemplate. So therefore, when you come out of that and become the teacher, go outside and teach, you are fresh. Your clothes is still wet, not yet dry. So you have to just continue to teach, and while teaching, that's where you make all the mistakes. All the mistakes. You remember, I forgot that line. I forgot to mention that. Oof, I forgot to address this. I forgot to demo that. So that's where you learn, right? Because each time when you make that mistake, you're going to note it down and say, you know what? Okay, today I make mistake ABC. I'm going to make sure ABC is not going to happen again. And then the next time that ABC was like you nail it, but CDE happens, and then you tell yourself, you know what? Okay, I'm going to learn CDE too. And then the next time you nail ABC, you nail CDE too, and then you find EFG. Oh my God, EFG.
And this is we're just starting about the teaching. We haven't even get into the setting up the business. being resourceful enough to, because it is a business. So not only that you come out and you have to teach, but you also have to, you like it or not, you need to be able to know how to run a business right away,
True.
right? And if you don't have any experience marketing or any experience promoting a service of any kind, I can only imagine how confusing that. And doing all this while being on the spot, you have that extra added commentary in you, you should be this way, you should be this way, how do you even navigate all that? And that must be, I don't know, very, very challenging.
I started with a very simple system. I treat like almost like a, pay and go, service pay and go. So I don't come from a background of business. So I have such a mindset. So all I started was a very simple way of people coming and teaching, paying and go. And that's it, right? So then it's a very simple thing that you have. Okay, you have your overheads, your rent, your electricity, your utilities and whatnot, and you minus from that, right? And then marketing, it's almost like, it's very different. The kind of yoga that we taught, like the yoga that we teach, is so different. The marketing is not like just anyone, and it's not like, okay, you come for one class and then and that's it. No, you have to complete the class. There is a series. You're coming to learn a series of practices. So it's not like today I come, tomorrow if I can I come. No. You have to come and complete the 3 class for Surya Kriya. So first, so it's an education. First is an education, right? And that was the hardest, because teacher like us, and that those days there wasn't many materials on YouTube like now. Now the teachers are so lucky. I'm going to say lucky, because the bad word here is spoiled. You're so lucky. So lucky you have all this material that we never used to have. Okay, never. We have to first educate the people and educate them. First is educate. It's a 4-day session, it's a 3-day session, 2.5 hours, like that. Cannot miss. You must have 4 hours.
It's compulsory. You have to come. Empty stomach.
Empty stomach. They're like,
what? I've been to so many yoga class before. I don't have to do all this. What is this?
Exactly. You got it. So they're like, 4 hours? So usually I have to tell them, no, don't worry. When you wake up in the morning, don't have breakfast. Why? Because that time your stomach is empty. See? Then they're like, okay. So the class is very early. I say, yes, of course, because 4 hours empty stomach, it has to be in the morning. So you see, break that. It's an education. That's
sorry, I wanted to ask you, like at this time, like around 2014, 2015, was you getting a lot of people who already know Sadhguru, like they've been watching a lot of YouTube? That means they have some sort of knowledge already, or you were getting like a lot of fresh people that you had to do a lot of explaining to?
The one that I started with are among the meditators circle. So they themselves are meditators, right? So that's the blessing. So and since I'm the only teacher then, right, in Malaysia, so the Hatha Yoga means Pushpaja. Hatha Yoga means Pushpaja. There isn't any foundation class yet, not yet. So only much later they started foundation class. So then they will come, and even then I have to tell them it's 4 hours. Of course, Shambhavi is already 4 hours. That's fine. And there are people who actually it's very new. They do Shambhavi. Some of them they don't practice regularly. So still this 4 hours thing is still very it's still something. It's still a commitment.
Yeah.
It's still a commitment. So yeah, that is one, one segment of people. And then the other segment is someone who get to know Sadhguru, never done Shambhavi. So for them, yoga is the commercial yoga in their head. They don't know that, oh my God, there's a condition for it. There's a 4 hours empty stomach. And then it's a program. It's a program where there's a series of class that you have to learn and attend, not just one off. So these people are the one that I have to really, really talk to and tell them what's the reason behind, the real benefit of this, a lot of explanation. So can you see what I have on my plate as a new teacher then 2013? You have to educate, you have to learn how to manage your business. Okay, you have to figure out a way to communicate with your students, right? And then after the class is over, you want to know if you can follow up with them.
Yeah.
So and on top of that, you are thinking of how to get yourself out there on the social media like Facebook. Simple thing. That time IG is not a thing yet. I think I don't know. I don't remember using IG myself. Just Facebook. So can you see, like, just so many things on my plate?
Yeah. All together, like it all comes at together at once. Yeah.
So of course, I do what I can and what I know from observing other people's business. Just by observing. So you can say I just take what I think it works and discard what it doesn't work. So I start to pay attention at how people run the yoga system, yoga school or yoga studio. I just pay attention. I looked at their page. You just basically study and what works for you. So yeah, I come up with something like that. It was it was quite an interesting journey. A lot of learning, wonderful learning curve. Not easy, but very rich, very enriching.
So okay, so 7 years, and so you're trying to expand your reach, right? Trying to expand as much as possible. Was there a time where you feel like the struggle to sustain because maybe the income is not regular and you're still trying to figure out how do I reach people on a monthly basis? How do I get this? Because again, this is one thing about this is that it's not like the normal yoga classes where people just come and repeat the same thing again and again and again in a studio, right? So you have that income coming in from that membership. But here, one person learns Surya Kriya once, then that's it. And then you have to go look for other people. And you are running a business, especially if you have other teachers as well that is working together. So you need enough for all of you to sustain. So what was that challenges like, right? When it comes to being sustainable as a teacher? Yeah.
So I saw very quickly after teaching a few classes, I saw very quickly that that our Isha system, our Isha way of teaching yoga, right? It's so unique.
Yeah.
It's very unique. It's almost like you never heard of this kind of system outside. It's just so unusual, unorthodox, right? Yeah. And instead of having many people to learn this yoga, okay, for me, this is how I took it. I told myself, it's not about having 100 people to learn Isha Hatha Yoga. It's about that one person if that one person understand means they really know the whole sequence of Surya Kriya, right? And they practice well. And they practice well. And I make sure that whatever support they need in that whole 40 days, 48 days mandala or 90 days mandala, right? That they are going to go through well, and there is like a system of revision, like after 2 weeks or after a week, like back again for revision. I just make sure that one student get it, and that's it. That's all I need to do. Why? I did not put myself in that position where I feel like I need more people now. No. If more is coming, no, sorry, I should say like that. I'm so sorry. I'm going to sound very arrogant here. Okay, please forgive me. If what you do is good, okay, because it is good. It's not about me. It's about the system. It's about what Sadhguru is teaching here. It's about Isha Hatha Yoga. If you know and you have faith with the whole system, which I have faith because my whole spine just straightened from my scoliosis, right? They will come after you. No matter. You don't have to say too much. They will knock on your door and they will say, Pushpaja, we want to learn Hatha Yoga. We want to learn Surya Kriya. We want to learn Yogasana. Okay, great. Because the practice proved to work very well.
Yeah.
And people who practice, that I told you, that one person who practice and you make sure that that person practice well, he or she is going to reap the full benefit. And when he or she reap the full benefit, do I have to go outside and tell people how good this is? They are going to be a marketing person.
Yeah.
They are going to tell their friends, their families, their neighbors, whoever, their colleague. And they will come. And for the past, I would say, so from 2014 until like 2017, I have been using this way. And miraculously, it worked without marketing. Of course, it couldn't anymore. It couldn't sustain. That's another different story as to why. But before that, that was how it happened. It's just by the word of mouth. People just come. I didn't have to do marketing. All I have to do is just schedule. I just schedule the classes, the next classes. Yeah, I just make sure people know ahead of time. If this is May, they already know 4 months ahead what classes I'm going to set, and they can just register and come.
Right.
So that was my strategy. Well, it worked for me. It may not work for everyone, but it worked for me because I know what this Isha Hatha. I found a treasure, Millie. I found a treasure, and I'm like, oh my God! If I experience this treasure, and that person experienced this treasure, this person as well, what makes me think that people cannot see treasure? I always see that people are very intelligent.
Yeah.
They may act like they are, still simpleton, but people are very intelligent. People know if something is working or not, if it's genuine or not. People know. People know. I leave it as that, if I can just make sure that one person benefit fully, that one baby, I try to make sure that he or she really benefited, I'm happy. And from there, they will speak for sure. They will be the real testimonial.
Right.
So that has been my you can say, for the lack of word, strategy.
So then what changed? What happened after 2017? You said what did something changed, or
something drastically changed because that's where there are two parties that is also offering Isha Hatha Yoga. It's not only the teachers. So ever since that happened, in this case, it's the foundation, right? The foundation also has their own class. And that really affects me as a teacher because, of course, the marketing, again, back to marketing, the marketing is so much greater because they have all the database of everyone,
Right.
right? So they're able to do so much more and get the words out, newsletter. So small timer like us disappear. So that's the time where there's a drop in students because everyone is going to the foundation. See, when I'm saying this, I'm not saying in a complaining way. I'm saying as a matter of fact. I'm just telling you as what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the reality, isn't it? This is the situation that I think a lot of teachers could relate. So this is a situation. Yeah.
So I don't know about other countries. Maybe things are a little different there, but as I know, some teachers in India as well, they also, having a hard time. But yeah, in Malaysia, I can only say in Malaysia. So Malaysia, this is what happened, and so that's a time where they were almost dry. Like our well was dry. It was drought for Irama. It was drought. So at and the best way to not damage further, right, was to close down the studio.
Oh.
So I said, okay, fine. I looked at Sadhguru because in that room you went. So we have a sunny day and the picture of Sadhguru. So I sat with and I said, okay, Sadhguru, if this is your wish, because I always say that this place is yours. Everything that happens is through your blessing. Everything that did not happen is also your blessing. Everything is you, right? So when this happened, I said, okay, maybe Sadhguru, you say, just close shop and do and wait for some opportunity or something else. So I say, okay, if this is your wish, I will follow. I just say like that. And then I start to talk to my students, those who come regularly, and tell them, oh, by the way, guys, I have to close down the studio because we cannot sustain anymore, right? Actually, so we have to close down. And my student replied, said, no, Pushpaja, no, cannot. Why do you have to close down? I said, oh, because we cannot sustain anymore. The overheads is a little too much for me. So the only way is to just close down, and that's the way. Okay, wait a minute. Can you just give me, give me some time? I will speak to, some people among us, as in the students, my students, and we'll figure something out. Okay, we get back to you. So she asked, what is your overheads and this and that, what I have to meet and all that. So I gave all that, and I don't know what she's planning to do. Right? She just say, hold on to that. Don't make that decision so soon. We'll get back to you. Okay. So a few days later, they get back to me and say, okay, Pushpaja, we just spoke with, a few students like among us, and we decided to contribute every month a certain amount of money, and for the next 1 year. Next 1 year. And I was really shocked. Because like your student doesn't want this place to close down, and this is our place as in, this is where we connect to Sadhguru, this is where we sit down and have classes, this is where we have time with Sanidhi in the presence of the Guru. We really don't want this place to go. And I looked at Sadhguru and I said, wow, I guess you don't want this place to close down, So he made it happen. So that year, we were able to sustain. There isn't much happening. I can tell you that there isn't much happening. But there was one thing off my burden. That is, I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to sustain this place, to maintain just the place. Forget about my salary. Forget about having a salary. Just forget about it. Just sustaining this place, that itself is like off my shoulder for 1 year. I was really, really, really grateful. I think I cannot express just how much just how much grateful this whole incident was. Beyond me. It's beyond me. This is miracle. This is miracle. So that's the first dipped. That was the first.
Right.
I have to come face to face to close the studio. And then it happened the second time again, somewhere in 2018, like another year. Again, we have to close. Again, someone just stopped us, right? And this time somebody invested in our company. Yeah. And again, this is again some invisible hand that is helping us going through this hard time. And that investment, I have to say, it really has helped us to have the resources to sit down for the first time. I sat with everyone and I say, guys, we have to rethink about where we want to go, because I no longer associate with the person that I was in the past. And the idea that I came out in the past, which was in 2014, I said, this is a different era altogether. So I started to have my other teachers, right, to empower them to learn skills. So I said, okay, so I signed them up and have them to learn digital marketing. There's a course here. So they learned online. There's a live class, there's an online. So we took online because it's cheaper. And then we have also learning about, so through digital marketing, right? So one person was learning, but sharing with the three of us. So I learned as well, So I said, this is a very good skill. And through this, we start to think from the perspective of brand, from the perspective of image, of avatar, right? And soon after, that's where I get to know you, because Adrian said that we just found out someone is offering this through Hatha Yoga for the Hatha Yoga teacher, and we found out it's you. So this is the whole story. What is it that we come about? That little and how from that struggle, as time goes on, we just become more and more clearer. I become more and more clearer. But I can tell you, Millie, it is not possible to have this clarity if I have not applied myself as teacher. Oh God, I have done so many classes. I teach from Monday. When I started, it was Monday to Sunday. And then after some time, I got burnout. And I told myself, no, you have to have a rest day. Just do nothing. Just nothing. And so it's just from Tuesday to Sunday. And then as you go along, you get to see what really works for you, and I adapt to that. And of course, a lot of mistake where I made by what is it? Mistakes that I make through teaching. Well, like for example, I had a few offer that I can do companies class, actually, right? Corporate class. And I go with this whole Isha image. This whole Isha, Hatha Yoga, Kurta, all that. Guess what? We were so not welcome.
Really?
We were so...
Really? Wow. Well, even in a country where
multicultural like us.
Yes. Yeah. Even here.
Because we did not go with just the attire. is our whole image that we're holding.
Yeah.
That whole image of namaskaram.
Yeah.
Hello, Malaysian don't do that, okay?
This
You
reminds me.
go and do like this. People think, okay, too polite. All right, how to respond? Okay, this is weird. People go with handshake. Okay, yeah, you can do that. It's not like Malaysian, we don't do that.
Look at
but
Sadhguru. Look at Sadhguru. The way he brings himself to different places. He not everybody he namaskaram. He does do handshake as well. If you watch him, so he applies. Actually, this reminds me because I was trying to do a little bit of branding classes for teachers, and I was getting into all the the brand and all the brand language, looking at it from a brand perspective. And I can tell they were really struggling to have that distance, because they are so in it, they become it true and true. So they struggle to build this facade, because brand is a facade. It's just like it is like a personality that you take on for a while for a specific purpose. But they were really struggling to look at this, and I came up with this sort of like a mantra. I said, I am not the branding, I am also not the marketing.
So good. Oh, that is so good.
To keep that distance, it doesn't mean if you have a brand that is very different than Isha or or the ashram, then you are that. I had to make them to see, disconnect, detach. Even the Isha thing is also just another person. It's not personality, but another mask as well, isn't it?
Oh, big one.
Yeah. So the moment you realize that, the moment you see that, then you start to see what is needed. What is needed for your audience. Then you start to align yourself. Within you know who you are, but there is a need for you to communicate to people, and that needs to be done a certain way. And I can see this is a huge problem, not problem, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge for a lot of teachers, especially the new ones. As you said, it took you how many years to sort of get into this, right? Then you said, so it is something that really takes time for you to see. And I see a lot of younger teachers who really struggle because they come out fresh and they want to, they want everything to be exactly as that, with every single thing. So what happens is that you alienate people without knowing, you don't have that awareness.
Absolutely. So true to that. So, you go into that company and they look at you one kind, they look at you dressing also one kind, and they are like, immediately you give them a distance. You don't make them feel close. You make them feel far. You make them feel like you are unreachable. Because again, I'm so sorry I have to say this, but teachers, we think we are so saintly, or at least we put up this very saintly image, okay, and that is so not working with the world. Okay, the world it's brute and really real.
I think if you
company, when you enter to the company, immediately you give them this feeling of, very far away, unreachable. You're like so like you're some yoga master. They look at you, it's like, oh wow, you just came down from the Himalaya. You just meditated in the cave, and you just came down, and now you appear in my office. It's like, okay, what should I serve you, chai, or do they feel like
The danger with this is I feel like more than they feel far. Like one problem is that people feel far, yes, but they may not necessarily dislike. They may like look at you and say, wow, they're amazing, that's great. But the problem with that is that they don't think that this is for me.
absolutely.
I can look
And that's
at I can look at like Shaolin Kung Fu, from far, and say, oh, I love this. I love these people are amazing. So there's no dislike. I admire them. But will I ever think that this is for me? I may not,
That's the point
not.
when I say far, you see. It's so far that they feel like they cannot reach there.
That is the problem.
That's very far, That's what I meant by you're so far. It's like, not ever in this life I'm going to get where you are.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm happy for you. You went to the Himalaya and meditated inside the cave, and now you enter into our company. Fine, good for you. There you go. Eat batch, number one. But you know what? Not for me.
Not for me. Not for me. Not even something that I'm looking for. So again, as you said, that the distance, it's something else to be admired from far, but there's no that real thing. So that is a huge I feel like a challenge for teachers to bring this forward, because
a huge disadvantage, I have to say, a huge disadvantage. Why I say disadvantage? Because if you can do the opposite, which is to close the gap, to close the gap of the distance, okay?
Yes.
And make them feel that this is an everyday thing.
Yes.
You can just do it. Anyone, auntie, uncle, okay, handsome boy, handsome guy, young man, young girl, okay, all of you can do. Your CEO can do. My grandfather can do. Okay, my children can do. So do you. You make them feel like, oh yeah, it's possible. Okay, all right. So Angga Madana can, yeah. So you have to go there with a different set of energy, with a different set of persona, not acting. This is about you being able to adapt to just any situation. Anything that the outside situation needed for you to do, you become just that. And for me, this is Hatha Yoga. This is the true essence of Hatha Yoga, which in the past, I failed to understand this essence. The true essence of Hatha Yoga is such that you can be so flexible, just at anyone with any situation given to you, and you're fine being who you are, right? At the same time, being adaptable to the situation. If the situation, you enter to a company where there's a lot of old people, okay, like elderly, just a lot more elderly than the ratio of elderly people is more than a young one, then you have to speak in a certain way. You enter to the company and you see that it's a startup. So young people, right? Okay. Then you have to enter with a different set of energy. What is it that ticks them? You have to find what ticks them. Right?
Yes.
If you don't find that, forget about it. You go there with your agenda, forget about it.
Forget it.
You think they want meditation? They are not interested. They are interested at my shoulder pain. Fix this.
Yeah.
You attend to this. You got it. I have headache. Okay, I'm headache. You have something for my headache. You got it. I have stress. Some hormonal thing. I have stress. My period, whatever. You attend to that. You got it. You got their attention. You got their attention. Yeah. But you go there with the agenda. Oh, namaskar. Okay. This is very good for your balancing. Ida Pingala. They're like, what?
And
don't
also,
understand?
And also,
I don't see how I can benefit. No, don't understand. Okay. It's like you short sendiri. Short sendiri means, sorry. It means you just go there and feel it's all about you. A narcissist.
correct. Yeah. Ooh, but and another thing that I see is that I do see teachers start going out and talking in a way where this is for your stress, this is for your back pain, this is for your headache. Some even say this is for to cure jet lag. All of that is fine, but you also need to keep in mind that for all these problems that you just mentioned, there are about hundreds of other solutions that are using the same thing. I can also cure stress. I can also cure back pain. So now your audience have choices, isn't it? So they say, oh, you also can do something for my stress. This person also said they can do something for my stress. Now, when they have options, what they go for is what they like. This is not going to be based on logic. A lot of people think that it's about logic, and they come in with their yogic science, right? they want to educate. They want to educate the audience. No. Your audience is just looking at this and saying, I like you, I don't like you, so I'm going to go here. This is how audience make a decision. So I understand, for teachers, this is a very, it takes a lot of awareness and a lot of practical practice, I will say, for them to...
It takes a lot of banging the wall many times. So I was there. Whatever you said just now about the teacher, going there and having their own idea. Yeah, that was me as well. That was me. Because I was the young Pushpaja also make the same mistake, right? And because I had so many opportunity and I crashed them. I crashed all these good companies, okay? They are willing to hire me to go, but I wasn't able to hold them, basically. Like I wasn't able to be successfully get their attention,
right?
And they feel like this Isha yoga, it's just
and then for every time you will see your audience will try to come and sort of be a friend. If they like you a little bit, right, they'll come near and they'll be like, they're looking for that relatability. Can I relate to you? Can I connect to you in some way? So if for everything, if you're giving them a very template answer, then you're not opening up yourself. You're not opening up
exactly
that connection. And I see this happening as well. This, because, well, I understand that there is a lot of need for you to be proper and like tell the right thing and not accidentally say something that's not right. But keep that. What I'm saying is keep that, but you can add this external sort of facade almost. And I know this sounds very, for someone on this path, they will look at this and say, what is this? She's talking about facade and talking about people liking me. It shouldn't be about that. Well, again, this is not about you. This is about the audience. This is about knowing who's in front of you and sort of giving them what they need first. So I think Sadhguru said it the best when he said, you always need to walk in their way first, like 2 steps in their way before you get them into your way. And this is the whole, I think the whole exercise that we're talking about. This is you trying to walk in their path, 2 steps into their path, so that then they have that connection, they have that relatability, and then it will be easier for them to follow you back. And I think it happens all the time. It just happens. So it's just that initial facade that you sometimes have to play for a while, and you might as well make it fun. If you're going to do it, if you're going to have to do it, might as well just do something that is fun for you. It doesn't have to be something that is so forced and or it doesn't come naturally. Yeah.
But Millie, this facade that you're saying, it's not possible unless the teacher themselves are authentic. Because whatever facade you put on, there is a real person behind the facade. So-called facade, okay? So-called facade, whatever you want to call it. I would say, whatever mask or whichever mask that you want to put on, there is someone that is wearing it.
Yeah.
So the one who wears it, they themselves must know who they are. If they themselves, they don't know, they don't know, whatever mask you give it to them, they'll be confused. So I would say this is a journey as Hatha Yoga teacher, more than teaching anyone Hatha Yoga. It's about it's about self, this whole self digging has to happen, and it's not easy. Before you tell someone to be aware, well, do you have that same awareness?
Yeah.
That question has to be first inquiry to the number one, not to your student. Because to do it to a student, to do it to another person, it's easy. You're just saying it out, and you can say it without the awareness. Let me tell you that it can happen. It can happen that you give people advices, but the same advice you did not do it. You did not follow. It's so possible.
Yeah.
Why? This is the danger of having the label as a teacher. Very dangerous. So I would say you can only play like you know how to play with mask only when you first know who you are. If you don't know who you are, you cannot play, because whatever you play is bound to be fake anyway. If you know who you are, you can play this and still be real. You can take that and still be you. There's you in everywhere. There's you somewhere. But if you don't know the real you, you have not dig enough to find who you are inside, to find the authenticity. Whatever mask you put on, it's bound to be fake. So I've seen people like that. Forget about teachers. I've seen people like that. They try to be someone else. They try to emulate. I don't know who they're emulating. Some brahmacharis or some other teachers, they try to be like them. And then you just see like, oh God, you're just a copycat of something else. Where are you? Hello, where are you? Where are you? Hello, where are you?
The danger is if you're aware that I am applying some sort of template, if you're aware, it's fine. But the danger is when you're not aware of it. You think you are that. This is not just for anyone on this path or teachers or whoever, but just for everybody. It's so important to know. Are you right now playing something? So even for us, right? Like when you're doing something professionally, like if I am in a meeting with my team or talking about something, professionally, I am playing something that, that's not me. I have to put on something that I have to play. I have to put that on because I'm thinking for them. This is how they will be able to receive it better. If this is the way that I have to play it for them to receive it better, then I'm gonna have to put it on. And then you go back home, and then you go see your mom, and then you have to put on something else or take off that. You can't go back home with that same professional whatever. My mom will just knock me on my head, right? She'll be like, you don't do that to me. I know you.
I know you. I gave birth to you.
Come on. It's that same thing. That is the same thing, right? So it always comes back to being able to adapt yourself and just knowing which one is the template that you're putting on and which one is, where are you at this point? You can be saying a lot of things.
This is the truth.
And touching on sadhana a little bit, and this is my own realization. Nothing to do with the off topic for a while, just my own experience. When I was first starting, so here's how it is, right? So it was all locked down already. So you don't get to you didn't get to meet anyone like face to face. Everything was just online. You're looking at Sadhguru videos and taking in all the theory, right? And I catch myself doing this. So I was probably just doing Isha Kriya at the time, okay? Nothing else, right? But I have a lot of theory in my head, a lot of theory. And then I catch myself doing this where I would go to like my brothers, or I will go to my mom, and I'll be like, speaking the theory, right? And I just had this moment of like, wait, am I that yet? Have I become that? And then I asked I asked myself this question. I said, okay, if I wake up tomorrow, right, and this whole theory just fell off, it's got deleted from my mind. I don't remember a single thing that Sadhguru said. How much of me will still be all those words? How much? And I know that the honest answer to that is probably like 0.05%. and then I was like, so what I do, I always check with myself. Tomorrow, if I wake up tomorrow, and if all this theory got deleted, Sadhguru said this, Sadhguru said that, all this, the science and the logic and the everything, right? All that got deleted. Nothing is in my head. If I wake up tomorrow, how much of all of that will I still be without remembering all those? Then I know where I am. So I stopped, I say, no, Millie, you're not going to apply this theory. So this is how I check myself. So it's off topic, but I thought that was really funny.
This is amazing. See, this is a true conversation, this is so valuable, because at some point we also picked up things. At some point we also picked up sayings, slogans, people's ideas, even your gurus, whatever you say, it's also idea. It's all an idea. Yes, of course, there's a wisdom of something for your awareness, but it's only for you to go into that space of really self-checking, but not to apply to the world. Do you know that so and so is like that? Why? Because this is already a preaching, right? If you get into the preaching mode, well, it defeats the whole purpose. It really defeats the whole purpose of why we even do what we do here of sadhana.
Yeah. And I have this other thing that I used to do. Again, this is in a very early stage. Haven't done Shambhavi, haven't done Surya Kriya, just Isha Kriya, and lots of theories and reading books and all that. So I'll do this whenever there's a situation in front of me. And this is exactly what I did. So a situation comes up. So I will sit down and I will go through all this theory. Like, it's almost like I'm solving a mathematical equation using all this theory. So, okay, so this comes up. So Sadhguru said this. So therefore, the answer should be, it's literally like opening a textbook and referring to the stuff and say, okay, check. Okay, so, okay, I formulated my answer. I have formulated my reaction even. So now I'm going to give it to you. Then I was doing this for some time. And I can tell when I was doing this, how much my own brothers and my mom they were just like, of course, people can feel, people know. And they were, it were going like that, they were keeping a distance already, because I didn't realize that I was preaching, because I was so into it. I was excited. I was like, I have found Narnia and I'm going to tell it to everybody. That's what I was doing. And then I start seeing them sort of, I think one of my brother just she straight up called me out. Is I think you've really joined the cult, you know. And I stopped. I think this is like the first probably 3 or 4 months of like discovering Sadhguru, and I'm watching a lot of videos. And thank God I stopped. I
even myself.
I zipped my mouth. I said, no. Something is not here. So I stopped. And now, more than ever, I don't refer to the quotes or the even, you know, I try to minimize as much as possible watching Sadhguru videos, not because it's bad. It's just because I want to check myself, you know, even without the reminders, without all those, where am I right now, you know? And that is the real progress, isn't it? That is the real so I try to stay in that as much as possible.
Right. I think this is where all of us will have to go through. Most of us, okay, I can't say all because I don't know, maybe there are some people who's like, I did not do that, you know, so that's fine. Even I went through this phase as well, and very quickly after that you realize, oh God, I'm doing something out of my ego. It's out of the operation of ego, you know. So it's like you took away a quote from a previous, you know, like the previous way of being, and then you told yourself, oh, I found something great, you know, and this is like a new life, you know, I'm going to be a yogi, like Sadhguru say, undercover, yay, you know. And then you put on this new coat and say, I'm a yogi, yes, I'm a yogi, you know. And then you realize, sometimes you realize, wait a minute,
oh dear,
am I not supposed to be like free? Like I'm not supposed to put on any coat. Oh God, I've been putting another coat. Like you thought you have take out something, but actually no, you just put on another thing of something new. So that's just our ego changing clothes, you know. But it's still that. So and it's just a matter of time you realize, oh God, if we do the necessary work, if we do the necessary progress in our spiritual path, we all will come to a state where we realize how silly we was. And then you will go through that silliness and realize, oh my God, so you feel so embarrassed, you feel so ashamed of yourself, like, why did I do that? I'm so silly. And so from that place of shame, of embarrassment, you went to the place where you accept who you are. Like you accept just how silly you are. You accept just how prideful you are. You accept just how boastful you are. You accept all of that, you know, all of that, all the colors. And then you come to a place slowly where you can actually tell yourself that, hey, you know what? I have all that. I'm lazy, you know, I'm full of myself sometimes, and I make fun of people, and I'm judgmental, I'm fussy, I'm very picky, you know, all of that. And you can say all this, and you tell yourself, you know what, it's okay, and that's who I am. And it's all right, you know why? Because it's a work in progress. I'm not ever going to deny all of that, all the quality that makes who I am. No. But initially you deny because you saw what is so-called holy. You put yourself out there and say, yeah, I am that, but you know you're not.
I think it's the same thing where you were talking earlier, where when you went to the corporate to go and teach, and then you were bringing this whole I think it's also trying to do that, trying to apply directly without first like looking around and saying, okay, here is the setup, this is the situation. And then also, the intuition, you speak a lot about intuition, and I see you applying your intuition more in your business, in your teaching, in the way you connect with people, the way you solve problems. And I know it takes a lot of it takes a lot of awareness to build that. It's something that you build, I think, and it doesn't come just because you read books, just because you watched a few videos. It doesn't come. It takes a lot of real experiences for you to develop that, I feel like.
You can only develop intuition, or you can say you start to get in touch. Every one of us are intuitive, actually. There's no such thing as none of us are intuitive. We somehow just know something we know. But because we are so much in the logical mind, or you can say everything that we do in the world, almost everything, we are conditioned to use our logical mind, right? Our left brain. So we are in this very logical template. And logic for me is the shape of a square. You do whatever, it's inside here. Whatever you do, it's inside the box. This is logic. So to go beyond the logical frame, you have to dismantle the wall, the box. And that is the realm of the intuition. That is the realm of the intuition. To go beyond, that's the realm of the intuition. So even initially, that's why in the spiritual path, even initially, you're bound to use your logic to rationalize your sadhana, rationalize why you feel this way, rationalize why you talk this way, all that. And still you're in the boundary of the mind. Not yet. So it's very beautiful, because only much later, like many years later, I realized the power of Isha Kriya. I realized the power. And true enough, my God, the Guru has gave the key, he has actually gave the key since the very first day. But none of us include, okay, I'm talking about myself here. I'm sorry if I offend you. None of us, as in me, I don't know that was the bomb. That was the thing. Isha Kriya. I went from, like this is the entry program to like the highest, right? Finally, Samyama, right?
Yeah.
To realize, boom, this is the one. This is the one, Oh God. And when I realized that, I thought to myself, Sadhguru, I have a picture here. I'm looking at this direction. I'm like, you took me for a ride, man. You took me for a ride. You tricked me. Like you tricked me. Or another word, I got tricked.
Yeah.
But it's nicer to blame on someone, right? So you tricked me, Sadhguru. It's nicer to blame on someone else. So Sadhguru, you tricked me. Yeah. Because you thought that was it, right? That was the highest, the thing. That was the of everything. You went there and you realized, huh? Body. I'm not even the mind. I'm not the body. I'm not even the mind. And that's the bomb. That's the bomb. But and so funny, Millie. This is like a very classic, I would say, a very classic joke about Guru. the classic joke about guru in the Chinese Zen and Kung Fu kind of story. They always say that, like in a typical story will be like the guru gave like a book, okay, like this book, and this book is like so crumpled and dirty, and it's like so shabby, or okay, it doesn't look like a treasure, all right, it looks like some and from the outside it says like some nursery rhymes, right, and this teacher, the kung fu master, gave it to a small little boy, right, and said, this is the treasure of life, this is the wisdom of the universe. So I'm going to give it to you. You're going to keep it very nicely, and one day you will become the bodhisattva, right? If you read this, you'll become the bodhisattva. And the child is like, okay, fine, dirty book. And then the story goes that much later, many years, okay, he found back. He still kept it. He threw it, but he kept it. So he found back, and at that time he already went through a certain self-dissolving kind of process. Dissolving the ego, dissolving the likes and dislikes, dissolving the judgment, dissolving all this hatred and belief system. So he went through that, and finally when he looked at that book and he opened it for the first time after having to dissolve the facade, right, that's where he realized, and that's where he was able to crack the nursery rhymes of the old master. So this is the joke, and this is, for me, this is the same joke that Sadhguru played with me, okay? Again, I'm sorry, it's only my experiences, So from here I start, and I thought Samyama was the one, and after my Samyama, from day one, he gave all of us, it's available on YouTube. It's
Wow. And I have to say, I'm quite lucky, because I think for those who discovered Sadhguru right before the pandemic, you had like almost like a 1 year before you got initiated into anything. So all you have is Isha Kriya, and I wasn't so into Upa Yoga at the time, but Isha Kriya, I have to say, Isha Kriya carried me the whole year. Now looking back, I feel very lucky that I started with that, and to be absolutely honest, Isha Kriya is my most favorite till today.
really
Till today. I could miss my Shambhavi sometimes. Surya Kriya, still really struggling to keep up. But Isha Kriya is something that I enjoy doing. So I'm very glad that, I think it definitely helped me to detach from it. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm definitely not detached from a lot of things, but because I feel like it helped me to do my job a little better. Coming in, I don't know how I found myself suddenly among all teachers and having to do this work. But I feel like having that sort of detached idea of what a yogi should be and what sadhana should be and all the textbook answers and all of that, I think I was able to do my work a little better, for sure. So yeah, Isha Kriya all the way.
He knows.
Absolutely.
I mean, master is so amazing. I mean, the wisdom of the master is extraordinary, because he knows how we work. He knows how the logical mind works. You give them Isha Kriya, they'll be like, I want Shambhavi. So they go Shambhavi and then they'll say, no, go higher, BSP. So, and then after that you say, no, BSP, no, higher. Okay. Shunya. Okay. And after that, go higher. Okay, Samyama. You know. So he knows how the logical mind works because we work with, that's how the whole education system is.
Yeah. You got your diploma, and then you get your degree, and then you get your master's, and then you get your PhD. And I think for me, definitely the first time I came to it, I was like, oh, okay, wow, okay, after this I get to do this. Oh, I'm gonna do, you tend to approach it that way, and then you
Batch by batch, or have my first batch,
oh
second
yes,
batch, third.
oh yes,
I'm collecting batches,
oh yes,
But
yes.
he knew this is also the way, because unless we exhaust ourselves mentally, we will never dissolve the mind. We will never come close to dissolve. We will never come close. Forget about dissolving fully. It will never even come close. So he's just creating. I mean, he's so amazing. I mean, the masters are so amazing. They know exactly what we need and they deliver.
Yeah, true.
Oh, you fools. Okay. All right. You want to study, right? Okay. I'm going to make a system for you to study until your brain cracked. Ding, 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 ding. And then you realize, so after that, after the highest, and you're like, so what's next? Nothing more. Nothing more? So you're forced to crack your head, man.
Yeah.
You are forced to crack your head. So
I think if you allow, there's also whether you allow it or not, right? Whether you allow yourself to break. When you come to that point and you realize all that you've been sort of telling yourself is not really it. But I think that's the point where you get to choose whether, am I going to allow myself to break right now and see and feel all that pain and go through it? Or am I going to stay with the facade for a little longer because it feels much safer and better from here? I think that's a choice that we have to constantly make on this path. Are you willing to let yourself to break or not? I don't know. For me, I will say, I feel like it is something that you allow yourself to get into that and let yourself break and just sit there and cry and do all that work. Or you can, I don't know, somehow try to maintain the facade. I mean, this is just
if today is your last day, what will you choose?
I will choose to break for sure. I definitely do not want to put on a facade for sure. Yeah, because it's not the real thing. Of course, you want the real thing.
I feel anyone who walked this spiritual path, if they have come to a maturity, it's not a difficult situation. It's not a difficult choice. It's not a difficult choice. It's really not. Because all this life, you have been doing the opposite. So why now? Why come here and do the same?
Yeah.
Why come here and do the same? I told myself always, every day, this is my last. Today is my last. So how should I speak? How should I respond to someone? I always think twice, because if today is my last day, I'm not going to hurt somebody's heart. Intentionally, no. But if they have to, get it from me, they have to. I'll deliver that. I'll make sure I'll deliver that. But I will not do something that is intentionally hurting someone, because today could very be your last day. Today could very be your last day. Your words, you don't want to carry that weight, and then at your last breath, you are so much in regret.
Yeah.
So I think, Millie, that choice is not hard. That choice one should not contemplate. Because if you have come here, like here in this journey, right? Why come here to make this decision? You come here to break.
Yeah.
Not come here to delay.
Yes.
That makes it very easy choice. It's not a hard choice.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. So it's not pretty. It's not going to be pretty. I think this is my realization, I knew it's not going to be pretty. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide anymore. You have to show stuff that's not pretty. And make that as the reality, make that as a reality, because it's so easy to get stuck in the facade. It for a while it feels safer. For a while it feels like you're doing it all right. For a while it looks very proper. You tell yourself, I'm doing the right thing. I think that's the trick, isn't it? You tell yourself, if I create a very wonderful blah 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 whatever, I'm doing the right thing. But it's just something that you're doing because you don't want to face the real stuff, which is not pretty within yourself, right? And let yourself break. And when you break, everybody's going to see it. And that's where, then you have, are you going to be okay with that? And say, this is who I am. I'm okay. I'm not here to look pretty. It's okay. It's like the American Next Top Model. I'm not here to make friends.
Is that what they do? Oh,
they have this whole thing. Have you watched it before? This is a very, very long time ago.
Yeah, old time. Yeah,
Yeah.
with Tyra Banks.
Yeah. They'll say, I'm not here to make friends. Yeah, I think for me, it's been like this now. So I'm not here to make it pretty, but I am here to shed, and it's not going to look great from the outside, from the inside. I don't know.
I would say, don't rush also. Don't rush or try to like be too enthusiastic to shed, because that itself, the enthusiasm of wanting to shed, that is also an ego. That's also a form of ego, but very subtle. Ego is like this. Ego wants to be the very this or very that. Very humble, the very highest and the very most humble. But these are ego. Because why do you have to be the most? Why do you have to be, I want? This one thing itself is an illusion. Itself is a voice of ego. So our job actually as sadhak, that means a spiritual seeker, is to watch this voice, really watching this voice. I always see ego as a dog. Okay, no insult for dog lovers. Sorry. I always see ego as a dog, because this dog sometimes barks unnecessarily and at a wrong place. So you have to say, shh, quiet, like you have to just tell it, quiet. This is not the time to bark. I'm talking to my friend, so you keep quiet, okay? Just keep quiet, all right. But then at night you want it to bark, because at night that's where you want it to safeguard. So you let it go and let them bark. Okay, go and bark and have fun. Have a barking fest all night. But the moment 6:30, 7, when I come out, you have to sit down here next to me. Just keep quiet again. Be a good boy. Be a good girl. You tell your ego this way, like a dog. And if at times, it wants to growl and all that, you pull the leash a little bit. Hey, shh. Do that. So this is ego. And I feel when somebody say, I have no more ego. No, there's no such thing. Hello. No such thing. Okay, in my experience, there's no such thing. Ego is it's going to be there. You're going to use it. You must know only how to use it. The only thing you must know about ego is that when and where to use it and how. So how much you know about your ego is how well you're going to use it. There's no such thing as no ego. So no such thing.
It's just bringing an awareness to it, right? And it's not about you finishing it, or it's not about cleaning up anything, but it's just
you can keep it quiet and keep it next to you, like a good loyal dog. A very good dog who follow your instruction and not rebel. That's a good dog, right? So your ego is going to be a good dog. So with your sadhana, with all the practices, you're going to polish your ego to a point that it's a very, very good dog. It listens to you. Okay. It doesn't bark without your instruction. It asks you, Master, barking? Master, chasing? Master, should I wait? It asks you. But right now, the ego is, yeah, and then we are the one who is like, oh no, my dog, my dog, my dog. Yeah, our dog has betrayed us. Our dog has really betrayed us, and you're like, oh no,
Oh no.
why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Yeah, you regret. You cannot control the dog. The dog just went barking and chasing people, and yeah, I'm talking about this. Like, for example, you got into a discussion, and somehow that discussion got heated up. All right, got heated up, and then suddenly you just can't take it anymore, and that's where it happens lah. That's where the dog sorry, that's when the dog went out of your hands.
Oh, this is why we all need to talk to you, I think.
No, after one time, two times, then you realize, alamak, I cannot.
Oh no.
Oh dear, what happened? Yeah, and then you learn from that. You learn from that, and you're like, how to train my dog? Yes, that's the thing. How to train my dog? Good job, owner. Good job. And you're going to bound to have a good dog and a good loyal dog who works for you, not against you. Yeah. Ego is good. If only you have a total understanding. If you don't have understanding, no good. It's going to bite you even sometimes. Ay, that's bad.
Yeah.
Chasing someone, okay, fine. Bite you even. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a good dog that doesn't respect the owner and doesn't listen to the owner, it's gonna jump on you.
It's a mad dog. It's a mad dog. So I would say I had a mad dog. Yes, I had a mad dog, and I have to say it's really knowing Sadhguru, knowing Isha, really it's the most amazing thing that has happened to me. Otherwise, I would not be here with you right now. I will not be here. I will not be where I am. I will not be able to do this work because I would not have this kind of understanding, this depth of clarity. I will not have I not met the master.
And I have to say I'm so lucky because it's really different just knowing the theory and trying to apply it, and you do your sadhana and all that, but to actually be with someone who has that clarity, like what you mentioned, and you see them the way they apply themselves, you learn so much, and it really trains your ego also. You are like, oh, I thought I know something, but no. Then you realize you're actually like here somewhere down here or even lower, right? And then it is a slap in the face, and that is how I always feel when I'm with you. I'm like, okay, take it. And it's so good.
Sorry.
So good. No. This is, I feel like I'm so lucky because I can go on feeding my ego without realizing. Sometimes you don't realize it, and sometimes it's you've done too many things and then you realize it. But it's always good to have somebody to give you that slap whenever you need it. It's so good. I think when we were talking, we always refer this as the bus that hits you. You know, here comes the bus. Here comes.
Oh.
Oh no, there's another one that's coming. This is, I think, this is how it is, and this is, I think, this is the base of our relationship. I think it's always, here comes the bus.
So beautiful. Oh my God, so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful. So we never thought that, you know, it will end up, our Get Candid today will end up this way, because we wanted to actually talk about something else. I actually want to touch upon my scoliosis, but my scoliosis went into ashram and all my Hatha Yoga practices and my Hatha Yoga training. So very interesting. Like I said, this is Get Candid. There's no script whatsoever. Whatever comes to me intuitively, and that is how it's being translated here. So thank you for watching. And if your bum feels on fire, so sorry, but I hope you enjoy the masala. Thank you very much. See you the next time. Goodbye.